So, so good to have another Monday together. And also, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not always like somebody who's conscious of the changing of the Hebrew months and Rosh Chodesh, but I can't not be conscious of the fact that it is Rosh Chodesh Elul, and not just because it's like 4 weeks till Rosh Hashanah, but just because of what Elul is. And so it feels very special to be together with you guys today. I'm Ariella Morkwitz. I'm very happy to be with everybody and here with Jordan. Thank you so much for being here this morning too, Jordan. I am just excited to learn with everybody, with Naama. Thank you for gathering us in this very, very special way. I'm just going to leave the space to Naama because I think we all could use a heavy dose of her teaching today. So thank you, Naama, for gathering us today.
Thank you, and good morning. Chodesh Tov, Shavua Tov, Monday. I really love Elul. I don't know if there are people in the audience also that love Elul. I think if some, I don't want to be uh, judgmental, but like some months I like better than others. Even though every month when it comes, I love it. But I'm wearing today like the soft hues of pink for if you were here for the color series for Tiferet, for the aspect of compassion in Tiferet. Um, really, Zman HaRachamim. It's a time of compassion. It's a time of compassion, and Yemima said that the learning, which is what we do together, right? Learning, meaning coming close to ourselves, learning to be in our conscious place, learning as a way of connecting and growing. Yemima says that the learning has to be done with compassion and with flexibility. And we learn it from the womb that the womb is so flexible, and that is the secret of new life. I can find her words soon because her words are really very beautiful. I'm pretty sure I brought it here many times before. But I really feel, and it's like amazes me every year how moving from Av with its like high energy of both grief and joy and the kind of like no rest, at least my sense of Av, into Elul. It's like the day that the moon, you know, is opening up to Elul. I kind of feel like a shift, and I don't know if you felt it. Sometimes people just you feel it. You don't know how to call it. It's ambient, but like there's something about Elul coming in. Elul is a month of compassion, which means also that we're going with a sense of trust. That we're going into a search, which is also a place, of like a lot of openness, like in grief, that we also want to have openness to the thing. But Elul is a time dedicated to this search, right? Elul means in Aramaic search, לחפש, and just a sense of trust that you're going the way. And so I'm reminding myself that I like to do the same opening every week. So let's do the same opening. We are here to anchor together. We called it Ogen in the past. We're now turning to Elul, but we really want to come together to take one sentence with us to the week, a sentence that will serve either as one anchor that we're throwing from our little boat of life that is going on the stormy oceans of reality. And by throwing another anchor and another anchor, we're creating this network that holds us a little more steady. Or it's like another shoot and another shoot, building a sanctuary. Think of a plant throwing its shoots up. And we're entering now this time of Elul. So I'm going to talk about our sentence in just a moment. Our sentence for today is going to be Ani ledodi, vedodi li. I am to my beloved, and my beloved um, is to me, is for me, to me. Which is also the acronym of Elul. Ani, Aleph, starts with Aleph. Ledodi starts with Lamed. Vedodi starts with Vav. Li starts with Lamed. And for me, this is a pasuk from Shir HaShirim, is really connected also to a pasuk from a psalm that we're going to say throughout Elul and the high holidays, which is Psalm 27, LeDavid Hashem Ori Veish'i. And in that psalm, David speaks to God and he says, Ki avivi imi azavuni, ve'Adonai asfeni. Because my father and mother left me, and God has collected me. And it sounds like these are two different relationships, right? The relationship with the beloved and the relationship with the parents. Um, but Yemima teaches that, there are a lot of threads between these relationships, and these threads are threads of learning for us. She calls them the golden threads. And I really want to try to think together today, in the time that we have, about the ability to go with trust, the ability to go with trust into this month. So we started this month with learning En Tikkun Sheba B'Tchiyah. We're not healing something with rejection. First of all, we have to accept reality. We moved on last week to the balancing between the two movements of the mind, helplessness, and oh my gosh, I forget the other one, and trust, I'm assuming, because usually this is how I think about it. And today we're going to just deepen into that trust. What does it mean to go in this world with trust? And we're going to speak a little bit about the mistakes and and how they're connected to trust. So before we're diving in, let's take a moment to just open up our capacity, our containers, and we're going to do 2 minutes of journaling, just like what's moving in me, what's going on for me today. So just automatic writing. If there's something that is like clouding your mind, just put it on the paper, leave it outside so that you can pass the threshold into this shared sacred space together. If there's something that you already want to think about through writing that has to do with trust, with I am to my beloved and my beloved is to me, then start writing about that. And I'm going to call us back in a minute or two. So, what's moving in me this morning, this afternoon? Okay. So let's take 3 more seconds just to wrap up. Last week, I'm going to start with um, reading to you a little bit, um, and asking you to just do like a blackout poetry. So just, um, see which words really speak to you, stick out to you, and echo them back to us in the chat so that we can go see what's going on with you. So you're welcome, of course, also to share now what's going on for you so that we hear what's happening. And I'm gonna read to us a short part from one of Yemima's teachings for Elul. It's really hard to choose, and I'm gonna bring two other ones as we're going through Elul. But this is a part of one of them. Entering next year, so I'm moving out. Sorry, I'm moving now into reading, and please just write the words that stick out to you. Entering next year, after all, is not related at all to last year. There is a separation in time. Between the first and the 10th day, the moon is covered. The moon is not revealed. That is, in the separation between year and year, there is cover. Separation as a mantle over last year, the cap that separates year from year. Thus, the Blessed One covers the iniquities. That is to say, separate the turbulent girl very well from the insightful adult learner. As part of Elul, we have the great merit to cover what existed prior. That is, it no longer exists, to heal while our thoughts are not busy with the past. In fact, it is an awakening to an understanding of renewal. Act to your ability and make many errors. You are allowed to make mistakes, and as many as you want. Here she makes a mistake, here she repairs. The power of repair is greater than the power of the error. For not to fail is to be with the consent of the heart. The error is accepted, but is accepted as unneeded and will be cleansed. I'm going to read the last few lines again just because I love them and I love hearing them. Act to your ability and make many errors. You are allowed to make mistakes, and as many as you want. Here she makes a mistake, here she repairs. The power of repair is greater than the power of the error. For not to fail is to be with the consent of the heart. The error is accepted, but is accepted as unneeded and will be cleansed. We're entering into this time, Elul, Elul, Elul. And this is a time that for many of us, we might have grown up with the idea that this is a time of judgment. And Yemima is saying that we can also have a totally different read on this time. Elul is a time of closeness. And I chose Anila Dodi Vedodili because of a few things. One is, I think Elul is a really good time to remind ourselves that we go into life with a partner, and that partner is God. Always, no matter how lonely we are, our soul goes with us. Yemima says in one of the other halakim that hopefully I'll bring in one of our next times that Elul is a time where the eternity touches the here and now. So that the memory that there is an eternity all the time connected to the back of our head is there, is available. And when we feel so stuck, it's there. We go into life with a partner. This is a partner in the businesses that we're trying to initiate, and in the family that we try to build, and in the house that we're trying to make warm. These are all initiatives that we're doing with a partner. Ani ledodi vedodi li. This is the first partnership of life. Before any other partnership, there is a partnership with our soul, the divine, that goes with us. This is Dodi. And Dodi also has a mission for us, for our life, a purpose for us, for our life. And that's something in Elul that we're going back to. And we're asking, Ani le Dodi vedodi li, and where is my Dod? And this is a question that is not a judgment. Where is my Dod? What's wrong with me? Why is my Dod not here? No. To the contrary, Ani le Dodi vedodi li, where is my Dod? Hello, where are you? I trust you that you're here. Please show your face to me. Please open up. And where am I? Dodi li. Dodi loves me. To open up to that. I think that there are two aspects that really are deepening my understanding of Anila Dodi Vedodi li from the teachings that Yemima give to Elul. One is this teaching about the mistakes. When you are with someone that you really fully trust, you're not afraid to make mistakes. This is a really, really deep thing in life. There are people that we're guarded around them. We're just not wanting to make mistakes, especially non emotional mistakes, because we know it's going to cost us. And Yemima says it's very important to learn to make mistakes, because this is a sign for you that you are not dependent on other people's. Of course, we're all dependent on other people all the time. But she says emotionally, you're not dependent on other one. You're going ledodi, just straight ledodi. And if there are people that when you walk around them, you have to work on eggshells emotionally, then pay attention to it. Ani ledodi vedodi li, act to your ability and make many errors. You're allowed to make errors. This is something that, I'm reading now in all these like books about attachment and kids. Your kids need to know that they're able to make errors around you. You might not allow things. You might try to steer in a different way, but they're not going to be rejected because of their errors. And you need to know that about yourself too. You're not going to be rejected because of your errors. You might feel that you'll be rejected because of your errors. But Yemima says you are allowed to make mistakes, and as many as you want. It's important to make mistakes. She said it to a woman who came to talk to her after she had some uh, fight with her husband, and she said, it's important. If you need to slam the door, Yemima said. You need to slam the door. Why? Again, I'm not encouraging here people to slam doors and get pissed at other people, but yes, to really, really know, act to your ability. You don't have to act beyond your ability. Anila dodi vedodi li, home. Anila dodi vedodi li, God is okay with you where you are. Might want, you know, maybe your higher conscious wants you to steer or change, or you'll do it when you're able. It doesn't assume that you're not doing it because you're bad. You're just maybe not there yet. Here she makes a mistake, here she repairs. Of course, we have this deep yearning to repair, and the power of repair is greater than the power of the error. And that's just a deep something to remember in Elul. As we're going into Elul, to remember we go with a partner. And this is a real partner, and therefore we are able to make mistakes. We are acting to our ability, and we need to make many errors. I think I shared that too, but I think I said this to my husband so many times, and then every time he's doing something that I don't like, he says to me, make many errors. So it can come against you, but it's all good. Um, the complementing thing to it that Yemima says is we sometimes feel like when Elul comes that we're getting into a stress of like, oh my gosh, now I have to get ready for the high holidays and I need to learn all this and I need to become the best version of myself. It's like, no, act to your ability, okay? Act to your ability, but the complimenting thing is also, she says, Elul is not time to learn new things. No, no. The power and the secret of renewal and of being with Dodi is to know also to stop and see yourself. Dodi sees you. I think it's a really powerful thing to be seen. You know, when someone really sees you, that's a really, really powerful thing. Like how sometimes you're doing these like exercises and you need to look at someone's eyes. It's like a little embarrassing because it's something pretty intimate. And Yemima said, Elul is not time to learn new things. It's time actually to go back to everything you learned this year. So I know these are the beginnings of, these are the openings of the week that we're doing together. And it's pretty short, but I do want to take a minute, sorry, to ask you to take a minute to journal for a moment. What did I learn this year? Where did I grow this year? Where do I want to integrate it into my life? So to really see you, there's a lot that happened for sure since last Elul to now. So just maybe write two or three things. Maybe what did I release this year? That's also part of growth. It's okay to walk around the D and make mistakes because it's okay to be playful around the D. And because you know that the D sees how beautiful you are. The D, the divine in me, the D, the divine outside of me, Ani le-Dodi ve-Dodi li, is the place of trust that we're entering in Elul. A reminder of the trust that we can have in that eternity part in the back of our head that is walking with us always and that we love so much and that loves us so much. And that reminds us that we are here for a purpose and that we feel playful around, that we feel that we can be trustful, almost childlike learning of life with. So this is our anchor for the week. Anila Dadi Vedadili. And here's our journey. We're starting with Antikun Shabbat. We're not healing with rejection. There's acceptance. We're balancing between the constant states of minds that come to us, the powerlessness and the sense of trust. And then we remind ourselves, Ani ledodi vedodi li. We're entering a space, a loving space, and we're opening to it by making mistakes and by seeing what we did. And as we're closing, I would love to hear in the chat what are people, what's what sticks out to you this Elul, this Rosh Chodesh, this morning, that you want to walk with for this week. Share with us. R. Renewal, restoring, revealing. Thank you. Let it go and thinking of what learned the importance of going to show Friday night, acceptance of what is now, how important community is, taking the time to consolidate knowledge rather than endlessly seeking to learn more. To remember to seek out that feeling of partnership. The best business partnership. That's also, speaking of businesses, this is also a great opportunity to make the most generous donation you want to make for SVIVAH. They're running a fundraiser, and we all love the work that they do, and encourage your friends to invest in this organization, this Elul, contemplating the past to move forward. Okay, thank you so much. I hope you make a lot of mistakes this week. Anila Dodi Vedodili. We will meet not next week because it's Labor Day, so I hope everyone will have a nice weekend. But we'll meet the following week to keep on walking the path of Elul together. Oh, sorry, we are meeting next week. Thank you, Ariella. My brain sometimes forgets a lot of things. So we're meeting next week on Thursday to go on um with our journey of Elul.